aka people who say Daddy God. We love you. Stop it, please. It culturally, Daddy is not okay. John, Addy, welcome to the podcast. This is the podcast. We don't have a name for it yet because that's how I like to do things, which you will come to learn about me. Addy sometimes hates that. I don't know that John has an opinion about that, but my name is Sawyer. I'm the high school ministry pastor at Crossroads Church. You want to introduce yourself, Addy?
Sure. My name's Addy. I'm the high school ministry coordinator for Crossroads Church.
And I'm John Allen. I'm Sawyer's boss. So
Unofficially, but
unofficially.
I treat him as such.
Yes.
I always say yes sir, no sir to him.
Yes, sir.
This is hopefully fun. We don't know what we're doing, and that's how we like it. I want to take a second to introduce them officially from my point of view, from my perspective. I've been working at this church for a few years, moved from across the country. John was I think you were actually the first person on this side that I interacted with that wasn't like a boss. Like I had done virtual interviews, but then I'm about to come out for my interview, and you are the first person I interact with because I lived with you that week that I came out and visited. Me, you, and Steve McKinley, great guy. He sent me this text before I came out here, all these emojis and doves, and literally like 1 a.m., I love you. I can't wait to meet you. And if you know John, that's just how he talks. But I was like, what am I getting into? Do you remember sending that text?
I do. I had my elbows on my dresser because I was doing laundry.
Standing up. Oh, you were standing up doing laundry.
Folding. And I was like, I'll text this
person.
New hire.
Yeah. Yeah. And I came and stayed at y'all's house. Your parents were off. Shout out Lisa and Tom. First shout out of the pod.
And we hot tubbed that night.
We did hot tub that night.
First night.
Which our boss, my boss, Talia, was devastated to find out about, because one of the first things, I think, come to find out later, the first thing she told you and Steve was, please do not weird this guy out. He's coming from Alabama. Please don't weird him out. And then the next day I come and Talia's like, so what'd y'all do last night? We hung out. We got in the hot tub. And she's like, no. But it was great. Just hooked me. Y'all took me to Del Taco. Yeah. But the one thing you got to know about John is that he's famous for something. You even said it this morning. He's famous for, I guess, two things. One, making a phone call when it could be a text. If it's, what you doing for lunch, he's not going to text it to you. He's going to call you, and he's going to talk to you for 5 minutes about it. And I love it. But that's not the best thing about John. Best thing is that you are the king of voice memos.
I love a voice memo.
You love a voice memo. I want to hear. So John is literally known for, he will send you, it could be a 30-second voice memo, but most of them are in their 5-minute range, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. And they're incredible. Whenever you get one, it's the best. I want to hear, first of all, like, why? Like, when did you make the turn? Some people make a turn from coffee to tea.
Yeah.
Some people, it's like, when was the turn from texts to voice memos?
I don't remember the first time, but I had this thought where I was like, why aren't more people doing this? It's right here. It's a tool. I don't have to move my thumbs. I just press down one time and I can talk.
So it was an ease thing at first.
I would say ease was second.
Okay.
The first initial thought was, this seems a bit more genuine. I struggle when people aren't sincere.
Yes.
And I feel like my tone of voice in a memo could be more loving than my tone in text.
Yes. That is true.
Thought.
Yeah. Yeah. One of our first conversations was, don't ask me about the weather. Don't talk to me about the traffic. I want to hear how's your head? How's your heart? That's what he would say. How's your head? How's your heart?
I mean, you just don't know when your last day is, so you got to have a meaningful dialogue.
You don't know. So, okay, that makes sense. What's the key to a good voice memo? Is there like, it has to have an intro and a body? Does it have to have a hook?
I would say the meat is always the most important part. What are you trying to say? If my memo is trying to ask you to go to lunch, that needs to be the main portion. But an intro could be a nice greeting, an encouragement, something I love about you. I pray over you sometimes in a memo. It just comes across like a hug through the phone.
It's a verbal, virtual hug.
I like when it starts with hallelujah, personally.
He does. He'll scream it. Hallelujah. And then he'll do a big pause. Can we get like a live voice memo right now? Could you just, I don't know if that's.
Just ask him out to lunch.
Yeah.
Right
How
now.
would you ask me to lunch right now?
Okay. Hallelujah. Sawyer, I love you. And I pray that the joy of the Lord is your strength today. I would love to have lunch with you. Let me know.
He does. It is. That was good. The prayer, always there. I love you, always there. I will get the kiss every once in a while, the kiss through the phone. I feel like there's some more drama there, like with the love. I would love to have lunch with you, friend. Like, just like, it's just one day maybe we'll play one. That was good.
We should play one. I think it's a sweeter way to text. That's what I would say.
It is.
Because sometimes if someone texts you, hey, just HEY, I don't know if you're yelling, if you're flirting. Not anymore. I'm married. But I don't know.
No flirting
no
with
flirting.
John Allen.
Stop that.
See that ring?
But are you being passive? Hey, rather than a memo, hold it down. Hey, what's up? Oh, we're fine. We're immediately
You can
okay.
read it, the energy. And
yes.
people say I'm an angry texter. You've said that about me before because I use exclamation points.
And okay, not okay, why? Just okay. And I'm like, is that... Are you
I say,
mad?
okay.
And then sometimes exclamation points there and sometimes it's not. So I'm like, oh, exclamation point, happy. No exclamation point, mad.
I'll throw in a ha-ha, though, to
LOL.
let people know that I'll throw in an LOL or a ha-ha to make sure that, like, if it's like, I got to cancel, whatever, I'm like, all good, ha-ha. Like, just to let you know I'm not mad. But even then it can get misread. So voice memo.
There is a difference between haha text and the hold down haha. You know how you can hold down to like a picture and you can thumbs up it, you can heart it, you can haha it?
No.
Huge difference.
I don't. The only one I do that of is the thumbs up to let you know that I've seen it. And you might be the only person I do it with because you also know I'm busy doing stuff and you just know like that's just, okay, he saw it, he knows. But the hold down haha.
Hold down thumbs up can be angry sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I don't do it with much. I'm also not good at emojis. I have one emoji that I use a lot that people make fun of me for, and it's the smiley
like that
face.
Really big smiling one,
but
with like
his
the
mouth is open because that's the face that I make.
We make fun of him because it looks like his face in real life. Like it's like the perfect emoji, but I think you're the only person I know that uses that emoji.
One?
It's kind of like faded out, but you still use it.
I use it. It's the only one I use. I use that one, and then I'll use the teeth one with Joe when I'm asking from like, hey, can we go to Chick-fil-A? Like that, you know, instead of like eating in, because it's kind of like, I don't know what it means, but those are the only two emojis I use. So maybe I need to start using voice memos like John Allen.
You do memo sometimes.
I do it to you. You're the only one I do it with because I get them from you.
Thank
if it's
you.
something long, you'll send me a voice memo. But normally when I get a voice memo from Addy, it's completely different. John, this is a treat. Addy, something's wrong. Addy will be like, hey, so just, and it almost always starts with, it's just easier to do a voice memo than a text. Because normally it's a long thing and she knows I'm busy. So she won't, instead of calling me, she'll do a voice. And it's like,
I just have to say though, my favorite voice memo one time, we were sitting just like in a meeting and John voice memoed and he sent a voice memo to Sawyer and it started with, baby boy, your eyes are as blue as the Atlantic Ocean. That was the best. I was like, what do I do with this information I just heard? I feel like I heard something I wasn't supposed to hear right now.
He will. I can't listen to your voice memos in public because if people don't know our relationship, they'll think it's really weird. But it is. It's just he's words of affirmation to the max, and so he really will send you. He'll find a way to compliment you, and it. Yeah, Addy. I'll listen to a voice memo and I'll look at Addy because her desk is right outside of my office, facing, and she'll be like, "What?" Like, but she's just jealous.
I remember going to a conference once, and this was like a leadership, dive in, teaching you how to be a better whatever. And they're like, if you see it, say it. If you see their potential, say it, call it out in them, which is cool. That has its reasons.
Yeah, do that.
But if your eyes are blue like the ocean and I see it, I think I need to say it.
I'm going to say it.
So I'm going to say it in a memo. I also want to say that our coffee cups represent our muscle mass because I'm looking that I have an 8 ounce and you have a 12 ounce, and this is our gain. So that's exciting.
Shout out
Cheers.
Canvas Coffee. Third shout out. I made a mistake earlier. I said the first shout out was your parents, but it's actually was Steve McKinley. Then it was Lisa and Tom Allen. Shout out. Now it's Canvas Coffee. Third shout out of the pod. We're keeping track. If you want to shout out, what do YouTubers say? You're a YouTuber. Addy's a YouTuber. What do they say? Smash the like button. What do you say?
I don't think I've ever given someone a shout out, but I would just say like hit the subscribe button.
Hit it. Hit the subscribe button
Like,
wherever you're
it.
watching from, and we'll maybe give you a shout out. That's John. John sends voice memos and is a very kind person and a very loving person and loves the Lord, and he's the best. Then there's Addy. Addy is one of my best friends. She does a ton of work behind the scenes. I think you said your title was HSM coordinator, high school ministry coordinator, but she does a lot more than just coordinate. She plans everything and keeps me in check and runs the night and does a ton of stuff like that. Rewind though, 4 years. I get the job out here. I move here. My first thing that I'm told is you've got to get the core students. Those ones that are just going to stick, that are going to make a difference. And Adeline Reckley's name was on that list because she was a church person through and through, been at Crossroads for how long?
Since the womb.
Since the womb, born here. And she was working here. And so I'm like, okay, I got to get her here. She never came. She didn't like me.
I unfortunately left when Sawyer came.
You didn't come to HSM and you started going to SIA, or College Young Adults Ministry, as a high school student.
Underage SIA.
She lied about her age. Ryan raised his hand behind the camera. I guess he did it too. Were you a student when I was here? Yeah, for a little bit. Did you come to HSM? Yeah. Ryan left too.
Okay, so you were our third high school pastor in my 4 years. So I was just like,
give me a chance.
No more pastors. And so I just left. I felt kind of bad because he seemed really cool. But
yeah.
But then they were like, he's only
not
22.
cool enough to get invited to her graduation party.
They were like,
she graduated from high school and she was handing out around the offices, hey, come to my graduation party. Come to my graduation party. I didn't get one. I even think I said, oh, I'd love to be there and support you, kind of a thing. Like I'm trying to. She was like, oh, yeah. And
Sorry.
then just never got one. Never got one. No, she works for me. So I never let her.
So it's a W.
So that's Addy. And, but she's awesome. I also want to ask you are a very vibey person. Very vibey person. You are big. She's big on vibes. So playlist for every month of the year.
That's correct.
Right. Every month starts and you make a playlist on Spotify or Apple Music.
It's January 25th. I probably will make one in the next 3 days for February.
Which is your favorite month?
Yes.
Because you like the vibe of February.
Yeah.
She's vibey. She likes roller skating. She likes the beach. She likes just like flowers and aesthetics and like you do photography. Tell us the what makes a playlist specific to the month. Like what for February is your favorite? Because think like just Valentine's and I don't know, we've debated about it. So but give me like a random month, like a March or like an August. Like what's like a random month that what's the vibe that you would put into a playlist?
So the playlist doesn't mean that the music came out that month. It's just the music I found for the month. So that's the debate.
So it has nothing to do about the month. It's just
No.
like, this is what I'm listening to
I
this
just
month.
I have music on all the time. People, when my Spotify Wrapped, I post it, they like freak out because it's like 200,000 minutes and stuff, because it's on like when I sleep, when I work, getting ready, like just all the time. So you need a monthly playlist for the vibe of the month. When you listen to music, I'm not saying the music is like the best ever. Sometimes it's more like a trial. It's like, how much do I like the song? I'm going to put it on the playlist. It's like a little audition for the song. And then throughout the month, I kind of edit it and take it off. But it's like spring vibes, winter vibes, you know, just different months of the year.
Sounds exhausting. And
it's like a hobby, honestly. It's fun
to me, but props to you.
Whatever. You have like 2 playlists, so
I have more than 2 playlists, but you don't like. She doesn't like any of my music. I'll always
That's not true. Worship.
I put on worship. I have a great worship playlist. I have it playing in my office all the time. But any other music.
No Alan Jackson.
No, I love Alan Jackson. I love country music, but I don't play it around you because you don't like it. But it will come on. Like my Christmas playlist has some Alan Jackson in it, and every time it comes on, she'll just roll her eyes. We'll go to a creative meeting and I'll be like, she'll be like, let's put on like some fun music. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to play here because I don't know what's fun.
I feel like some people like take a lot of pride in their music taste, where they're like, this is everything, like my music taste. I'm not really like that, where I'm like, I know everyone's going to like this. It's
You're just judgmental
like,
of other people's playlists.
No, I just don't like country music. That's just the problem. I feel like a lot of people, they either hate or love country music.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's true. I listen to it less now that I'm out in California. But anyway, as you can tell, we're very different people, but we do have one thing that all 3 of us have in common. And it's that we each have a very passionate view on food.
That's true.
Unique views on food, but very passionate. I will eat anything. I love food. I can't express how much I love food. Like I really just love food. You hate everything. You hate food, which we'll get into in a second. You can't eat food. Food kills you.
That is true.
One of the first experiences I had with John outside of church is that you came to my now wife's house. It was her birthday or something. Do you remember this story?
Oh, yes.
This is John Allen in a nutshell. This is I tell this story all the time because it's just you to a T. So he's allergic to everything, which we'll break down in a second. But we're at this house. Jordan's grandma has made this like big pot of, was it baked beans?
I thought it was pinto beans.
It was pinto beans. Okay, it was baked beans or pinto beans or whatever. And before you ate it, you went up to her, and so kind. I think you probably by this time already asked like 5 people, but narrowed it down to she's the one who cooked it. But it probably didn't start with, hey, is there anything in this beans? It probably started with, my name is John. How are you doing? Tell me your life story, because that's just how John is. But it got to, is there anything in this beans, right? What like anything in this beans that other than beans? And I think she said no. So you ate it, and then turns out there was bacon grease in it, right?
It was beef.
It was beef.
Mm-hmm.
There was actual beef in it.
Beef grease or beef juice.
Grease, yeah.
Or beef broth.
Beef stock, probably, yeah. Cooked with beef stock. So he puts down the plate and kind of like comes and says bye to me. He's like, I'm just not feeling great. I'm going to head out. Just super casual. I just got a dip. I'm like, oh man, are you okay? Yeah. I'm okay. You head out. I feel super bad. I'm like, I feel bad for John. He's not feeling good, whatever. We keep going through the night. Like we're hanging out. A couple hours later, everyone's gone. I think Joe and I are even watching a movie like halfway through the movie. Like it's been a few hours. And I'm like, I'm gonna call John and see if he's okay. So I call you, baby, how you doing? That's always how he answers. I'm good. What's going on with you? How you feeling? You feeling better? Oh, I'm so good. So good. I'm leaving the emergency room right now. I'm like, what? So you had driven out and couldn't even drive anymore because you got so sick you had to call the ambulance to come and pick you up from like a Vons, like right down the road.
This is true.
And then you had to get your stomach pumped, or what happened?
No. So for those of you listening, I am allergic to beef, and I'm vegan. So Addy doesn't eat any food but
by choice, by
preference.
preference.
dino nuggets and fries. And Sawyer, I've seen him eat like 30 tacos in one sitting. So I'm allergic to beef, and Jordan's grandma made the beans with beef.
Shout out Nana, 4th shout out of the pod.
Oh yeah, and I just remember eating them, and then like my left arm went numb. I was like, oh man, this feels so weird. I can't feel my fingers. And from there, had a beautiful trip to the ER, and it was memorable.
It was
Beautiful trip.
beautiful trip to the
He would
ER.
describe the ER like a beautiful
trip to the ER. But it's so funny to me, not because you almost died, praise God, that you didn't die. It was funny because you made any other person would have, even a non-dramatic person, I don't consider myself a dramatic person, would have caused a little bit of drama there. Just like, guys, I got to go to the hospital kind of a thing. You slipped out, said bye to everyone first. Heart is stopping, but I'm going to say bye to everyone and give everyone a hug and tell them that I love them. And then I'm going to go to the hospital. And it was such a casual trip for you, and it made me laugh. And from then on, I understood, 1, who you are, that you're just about everybody else first, and 2, that you cannot eat the wrong type of food or you will die.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, all that to be said, that's my transition. I have a confession, and we kind of talked a little bit about it yesterday with some students at Centennial FCA. I genuinely, and I've tried to research it, but I genuinely do not know the difference between vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free. I could not tell you. The only thing that I think I know is that gluten-free is just like bread, right? Other than that, I don't know what vegan is.
Yeah.
Because I've seen like milkshakes that are like, says like vegetarian or something on it.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm like, I don't know what this is then.
So I could be wrong on this because I'm not educated in the vegetarian world, but vegan means you don't eat meats or dairy.
Animal products, I think.
Which
Yes.
is what you are vegan. So you
I'm
can't
vegan.
eat anything from an animal.
Like even eggs, right?
Yeah, I don't eat eggs. Keep in mind, I'm not some nut like save the farms. I want you to have your beef.
Thank you for
want
that.
you to eat.
John Hella does not care about your farms. PETA, sorry about it. You're not going to like this pod.
Like if you wear a fur coat, I'm not gonna make a scene. I just don't do it because I feel better as a human.
It's just because you would die.
I wouldn't die,
You're-
but it's just uncomfortable. But a vegetarian has dairy. They can have cheese. Gluten-free, I don't know.
That confuses me though, because that's not a vegetable.
I
Right?
think they
Vegetarian is
just-
only vegetables.
They're just anti-meat, but they call it vegetarian. I think gluten is a derivative of wheat, so it's like something that's
You
there.
lost me. Okay. So it's
And
okay.
so it's like in most breads and like lots of different things, like crackers have gluten, cereals have gluten, stuff like that. So some people
And most gluten-free is allergy or choice?
allergy.
Vegetarians are choice, or is it all three? Like it's mix and match?
I think it's everyone's.
Well, people I feel like take it to a new level sometimes. Like John's saying the save the farms thing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it can be taken to a new level.
Do you care
Where-
about the farms, Addy? Can we get that on record? How do you?
No. But yeah, some people I think take it to a new level.
Like Cassette at FCA at Centennial. Is that fish shout out? Fish shout out of the pod. By choice, a few months ago said I'm going vegan-ish. I don't think she's like super passionate about it, but like we serve pasta every Wednesday at this school, and she brings her own lunch just because she's like, I just want to be vegan. So that's a preference thing, and you can do that. But vegan is no animal products at all. Milk,
Nothing.
eggs, nothing.
Lots of oat milk,
Oat
almond milk,
You eat
coconut milk.
I've seen you eat. So this is also a John Allen lunch. One, I also see you will eat food. You'll get one meal and eat it throughout the day.
Yes.
Like yesterday or a couple days ago, I bumped into you and accidentally spilled your Del Taco fries. Shout out Del Taco.
It's okay.
And I helped you pick them up, and they were stone cold. Like could have been in the freezer for hours, but because you probably had bought them 4 hours before that and just had. I don't think I've ever gotten French fries that lasted for more than 5 minutes. But you will eat them all day long.
All day long. I think a reason for that is because ever since I went vegan, I was eating less food. So your stomach shrinks. It gets
Okay.
smaller. So I'm not as hungry anymore.
Yeah.
So I'll dabble, I'll graze, kind of like a dog.
Graze.
My dog does that. We pour him one bowl. We pour him one bowl, and he'll hit that thing all day long. And I feel like I'm on his wave. Like, we do the same thing.
Take a bite, walk away.
Yeah. Drink coffee a bunch too, so that kind of stunts your hunger.
Yeah. That's why you got the 8 ounce. That's why you got the just a sip here.
Pace it.
See, I'm like chugging my coffee. You haven't even taken a sip.
Yeah.
Crazy.
There was a time when Sawyer was like, "Are you taking your lunch or is it in your back pocket?"
So now we go to Addy. Okay, so this is
Because he said your lunch is like 2 Chick-fil-A sandwiches, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't eat
so
that much."
2 number ones from Chick-fil-A. That's my meal from Chick-fil-A. But so she will literally eat like 3 crackers. Yesterday, that was your lunch. I saw you. It's those rectangle crackers. You have like a pack of them. They're in your drawer. I know where they're at because I've eaten a couple of them before. You have that, and that's it. And you sit on your desk, and it's like a chipmunk. It's literally like, and it's like.
Because I eat like kid portions like a lot throughout the day, so kind of similar, but like 4 meals that are a little bit smaller, probably.
But so your thing though, so you do also though you're little, so obviously you're gonna eat less food. I'm 6'4", 220 pounds, so I'm gonna eat a lot more. So that's just happens. But not only that though, you don't like you are a very picky eater.
But it's like a preference thing, but
Right.
I hate it. I
Right.
hate being picky.
So
I want to like things, and I feel like
Yes.
picky eaters are in different boats. Some people it's taste, some people it's texture. Mine is look.
yeah,
I don't like how food looks, so I don't eat it. But I want to like be blindfolded and just like get over it, but I can't because I'll start gagging. And it's just a struggle.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to overcome it, but I just really picky.
So to defend you and defend John, they have the best attitudes about it. I've been around a lot of picky eaters and you would never know it about him because he's never, if we're in a group and you're like, let's go to, I don't know, a place that only serves meat. John's be like, all right, let's go. I'm excited because he's just not going to make it about him. And I've never heard a complaint about it once. I think used you as an example to message one time about being grateful. Like you're just going to find a way to be grateful. Same thing with you. I've been around picky eaters that are just like you mentioned, you mentioned Chick-fil-A and they're like, that's the worst. I hate it. You're good about it. You don't complain about it. She'll be honest with you if you ask her, but you're not going to complain about it. And you do, you're not going to wield it over anyone.
I go through the drive-thru and I just say, can I get a burger with nothing on it, meat and bun only?
Hamburger, meat and bun only. That's your burger order.
Can I get a cheese pizza with nothing on it, please?
From Little Caesars is your favorite pizza. We're praying for Addy. Nothing against Little Caesars, but so you guys do both have great attitudes about it. It's just funny to me because I'll eat anything and she's very picky. So I want you to tell us about your list. Do you have the list with you? By the way,
I do have the
with
list.
this podcast, just so you know, I know what we're going to talk about. They have no idea what they're going to talk about ahead of time because that's how I like it. So
what I like to do when someone says, where do you want to go out to eat? I also love the Notes app. Fun fact, it's like I'm on that. My screen time is like the Notes app. I really love it.
if we have a meeting, she'll send me after the meeting a Notes app
checklist.
link, a checklist. She loves it. Yeah.
So I have a notes that says places I like to eat. So when someone says, where do you want to go? I just hand them my phone. I get a lot of weird looks because I have a section on the bottom that says, if I have to. So there's like the top places. And then there's like, if I have to, I'll go here, but I really don't prefer it. So
give us the ones that you're like, I'm good to go.
There's a lot.
Just read through a few of them.
Okay. Chick-fil-A, Panera Bread, El Pollo Loco, Flame Broiler. People laugh because I have Sam's Club on there, but I feel like that's like a cheap lunch option. I don't know.
Let's
Caesars.
go to Costco and get what are those chicken bakes? Let's go to Costco and get a chicken bake. That's Addy. Okay.
Like Subway, Del Taco, Chipotle.
Okay. Okay. What about the if you have tos?
Burger King, Taco Bell,
Oof.
Pick Up Sticks, Tommy Burger.
What? Okay.
That's like not preferred.
Okay. We'll work on it, Addy. That's rough.
I think there is something very suspect about Tommy Burger in Corona because That place has been open.
I was thinking the same
20
thing. They get
years.
no business.
No one's ever sitting in that restaurant. People talk about it all the time in Corona.
Money laundering?
Hold on. There is one person that I know that eats at Tommy Burger. One person. Do y'all know who it is? It's that man right there. You Ryan? Behind the camera.
Wow.
You Ryan. I've seen him multiple times eat Tommy Burger. I've had it once or twice, but you eat it, right? It's good. If you don't know what Tommy Burger is, it's like chili cheese burgers and fries and stuff like that. Supposedly they've got good milkshakes. It's an LA thing, like a late night LA staple. But yeah, you're right. There's something sketchy about Tommy Burger in Corona. It's right across from In-N-Out and next to Miguel's Jr. And of those three, no one chooses Tommy Burger. But it's still open. It's been open for forever. Yeah. Shout out Tommy Burger. Okay. Sick shout out of the pod. Yeah. So Addy's got that list. You got a great attitude about it though. I remember when you went on a mission trip to Israel, that was like one of so most people, when they go across the world for the first time, I don't think you'd ever been out of the country. And I'm leading up to it. I'm asking her, what are you excited about? What are you nervous about? It's the food that she's going to have to eat on this mission trip was your biggest fear leading up to it. And then you got back and I think you got COVID on the trip and you got locked in the room and ate watermelon every day, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah. It's my favorite food. Watermelon. That's debatable too, but I really love watermelon.
Favorite food is watermelon. Crazy. All right. No smooth transition about this. We're at 30 minutes, so we're going to close out soon. But first, we got to talk about what we want to call this podcast because we don't have a name for it. So I want to talk about it. So 2 things I want it to be. Can't be too serious.
Hand up.
What you got? Shout out podcast. Shout out Jordan Keith. 7th shout out of the pod.
Did we skip the 5th shout out?
No, I think the 5th one. Let's go back. Steve McKinley, Lisa and Tom Allen. That counts as 1. Nana was the 3rd, right?
Lost count of the shout outs.
Tommy Burger.
I think we went Cassette next from Centennial High School.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think we went Urian, Tommy Burger, that's 6, and then Jordan Keith 7.
So 7, okay.
7.
We're on a roll.
That's a good number to stop at. Pastor Chuck would appreciate us to stop at 7.
8 shout out, Pastor Chuck. What up? Pastor Chuck. What up? Senior pastor of Crossroads Church. What a guy. Okay, so that's 1. So shout out podcast. It can't be too serious. That's not too serious. I like it. I think it does need to, it doesn't have to be, but a little controversial. Okay. If we're not getting canceled for this podcast, then what are we doing? That's the goal of this podcast, is to get canceled. So it's got to be a little controversial. So shout out podcast. I like that one.
We could let the people decide.
Let the people decide. Let us know. We got to have a name for when we air this, but maybe we just call it unnamed podcast for the first few episodes and let us know. That's the second. I like also on this podcast, we are going to make fun of Christianity to an extent. We're all Christians. We work at a church. We love God, but there are some, you got to be able to laugh at yourself, people. Laugh at yourself. We're all dumb. We're all broken. So praise Jesus. So we're going to make fun of ourselves. So it could also be stuff that we're going to make fun of Christianity for, AKA people who say, Daddy God, we love you. Stop it. Please. It culturally, daddy is not okay. But so Daddy God podcast might be a name.
That's a no.
I'm a fan of that one.
I like it.
I knew Addy was going to hate it. I knew John was going to love it. Makes me want to do it even more. What else do you guys think? What are some controversial things or some weird things that Christians do that we can make fun of, even just in our name, in the name of the podcast? You don't even have to listen to our podcast to get offended. You just got to look at the title of it.
Well, I think if someone saw Daddy God and you're a Christian, you'd be like, oh, this is going to be funny. And if you're not, you're like, what is this? It's enticing.
You think people would be curious about it?
Or it could attract the wrong people also.
That's actually a good point, which would be actually, hey, that'd be ministry. We're doing ministry now. We're attracting people who don't love Jesus, and now they're here. Every episode we should title something like that. Super, super clickbait, but also super nothing at all like what we're talking about.
At least you're like admitting that it would be clickbait. So like the people watching, they're like, at least they know that we're
super
not
clickbait.
Like it's just on
But it's
purpose.
also like, I like what John's saying. Like it's just the most obscure thing. Like one-on-one interview with Vladimir Putin about spiritual gifts.
Wow.
Do you speak in tongues, Vladimir? That's what I want to know. That's what we're going to talk about on this pod. All right, we're wrapping it up. That's the first episode of this podcast, which we'll decide a title on soon. John, Addy, it's a blessing. Urian, Jordan, please help us not get canceled. We love you guys. See y'all later.